Our journey begins. It is day 58, July 28, 2024, and I made a lot of progress today, so I'm going to try to walk you through it. Starting from yesterday, I was thinking through, okay, let's make a timeline. So that's what I started with, um, making a timeline in general, the days and the end of week goals, the weeks, and then the end of day goals. So I was like, well, today it'd be nice if I could outline the first 6 narratives, which I'm making this video now because I've pretty much done that, although I didn't define here how detailed the outlines needed to be. But they're outlined enough to start exploring stuff, but it's not like a full outline, like, oh, now I'm just going to start scene building. So, but still, outlining 6 narratives like this is going to be extremely difficult. But I at least kind of did that task for today. So then I started thinking through narratives, really trying to dig into, okay, how would you really do all of this? What would the first scene for narrative 1 look like? All of that sort of thing. And I don't recall exactly what ended up happening. I think I ended up writing out this piece of paper here where I outlined kind of the universe for the first narratives, kind of thinking through the universe, thinking through, okay, what would make this particularly interesting or exciting, and then sort of outlining narrative 1, and then outlining through the rest on paper. I think that's mostly what I did. And then for my next session, I did this sort of thing where I was definitely outlining narrative 1. So this was the paper exploration, thinking through that stuff. And then I sort of got into it with setting up this outline part, like developing the outline, thinking through the outline, the characters, all of that. And then I realized somewhere around here when I was thinking through the characters, I think, who would the character be? And it struck me like, why does this have to be an entirely fictional character? And I could never really think of a good character in all of this. And so I realized probably it should just be me. I should be my own character. And yeah, then I got into that aspect. I think I wrote about all of that somewhere. Okay, so all of that has to do with 1 here. It's above that. Yeah, here it is. So what if I'm the main character throughout? Characters in a world's a reflection of the metaphorical in my own mind. So this could be very interesting. The narratives could be like my own thoughts, taking the form of metaphors, trying to express to the world. So these first narratives are actually the main arc. Is still how any one person can make a difference. The ultimate motivation story is like the thought in my own mind of how to actually look at reality and sort of how to motivate myself. So anyway, then I sort of restructured all of the overall plot a little bit in aiming toward that. Sort of, yeah. So I rethought through all 12 narratives, thinking them. I'm trying to find. So I have like other possible characters, the time and setting, dialogues. Somewhere around here, I kind of expressed like, I think making the character myself will help people to understand more about me, and then when I do try to do the things in the movement, it will be helpful. So essentially, this whole plot is the choice book personalized to myself, but also basically the universal choice book, also the movement founding book, and also the narrative expositions to kick off the movement, and an outline for the movie. So it sort of meets all objectives. Then I started building out these outlines for each narrative. Where I have like, okay, here's an outline that here's the outline that I'm going to use when I start writing the narrative, and I have that for the first 6. So I kind of thought through the first 6, and they're decent. They all make sense. I did some sequential analysis, and then I started looking into world building, essentially, thinking through all of that, and yeah, really thinking through what the world what would that look like, because that's an important aspect of the outline sort of thing. So it's been an interesting day, but I think that this makes sense, even for myself, to clear all of my own questions, to like really put them all into writing, to like clearly as possible outline what's actually going on. Would be would be helpful, even if it's only for myself. But I think it could be vastly beneficial for everyone. Like, I don't think this sort of thing has been done before. So it's compelling stuff. Very interesting to think about. Vastly difficult. I don't know if it's difficult just because I haven't done this, or my standards for perfection are too high. It's probably a combination of a couple of those things. But I just think if I keep at it, it'll eventually come out to be hopefully close to what I'm imagining is possible. And I was also thinking how if I'm telling it from the perspective of sort of myself, but instead, like, I'm not doing an adequate job explaining this, but essentially, each of these narratives would be not necessarily a real story about my own life, but they would be the full metaphorical, imaginative, expositional narrative about that topic, a sort of what my thoughts grow into, all of the details. And then I can tell the story as though, like, because it is actually the thing that's bumping around in my head. It's not like it's, and hopefully it's completely metaphorically, like, it totally works with trying to get the ideas across that I'm trying to get across. So, anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.